But
okay, so somebody pulled up an old Rob Markman clip of him interviewing Tory Lanez, where Tory Lanez was spitting a Lil Wayne verse, and I guess he stopped at the end of the final bar so Rob could say it with him, and Rob didn't. So Drake comments underneath, says, of course, this goof Markman can't finish the bar. Rob Markman responds underneath the comment, ooh, comment beef.
I love comment beef. I get him all the time.
Welcome back to Pop Pulse Reacts, the home of hip-hop's biggest culture quakes. Today, we're diving into Joe Budden banning Drake from his podcast after the drama with Rob Markman. Some reactors say Drake's moves are becoming his downfall. Others think this ban shows the culture pushing back. Stick around because you're about to see a mix of fiery takes and classy clapbacks. But before we get started, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with your crew. Now, let's get into it. First up, every reactor homed in on Joe Budden's hard stance. Drake is officially banned. From Big Kish to Yo EQ TV, the message was clear. The culture won't tolerate cheap shots at respected media voices.
Nobody respects a coward, man. Nobody respects a bully. Somebody that's taking shots at somebody who don't mess with nobody.
The wig-wearing womanly Tupac wannabe waistsuit got washed by Joe Budden.
Yo, Drake, my brother.
Banished from the podcast, the petty petition padre Supac Manure, the Marilyn Monroe v. Ho, has been beefing with Budden back many millenniums ago.
But, you know, Drake called him a goof, right? Drake called him a goof for not knowing the next Wayne lyric as Tory Lanez was rapping it to him.
Joe Budden bans Drake from the Joe Budden podcast after dissing Rob Markman and hip-hop media.
Joe Budden tells Drake, I don't want you on my show. I don't need you on my show. I'm a bigger star than you.
Oh boy, here we go, you guys. Drizzy Drake, you see what happens when you attack a hip-hop journalist unprovoked? Somebody that minds their business, you went out of your way to go call him a goof.
And from what I understand, from what everybody was telling me, is that goof in Canada means PDF. Now, I don't know if that's real or not, so y'all can let me know in the comments. If you're watching me from Canada or you understand the vernacular or lingo around there, let me know, bro. But I heard that goof means PDF, and if it does, it's kind of weird to go around calling somebody a goof if that's what that means.
For what? Was it worth it? Now, luckily for Drake, Rob actually spared him. He responded back on his channel to Drake and said, bro, I have no issues with you. All I do is critique music. I tell people what I like, what I don't like, and I'm positive over here. You're not gonna get me to crash out, buddy. And let's be honest here, Drake. If I joke back and call you a name, you might sue me. Now, all this also happens after Drake announced he was doing another interview podcast with Bobby Altoff.
Yeah, so we all know why Drake is mad, because he did that interview with Kendrick a long time ago and Drake feels some type of way about it. That's why he mad.
And Drake, I hate to break it to you, but when you're a public figure or you're putting your art out there for public consumption, you're not only opening it up to praise, but also criticism. Whether fair or unfair, that's a whole nother conversation, but it's definitely unfair to throw a fit every time someone criticizes you, especially when there's some validity to it.
But like in the past few days, right, old boy's doing the interview with Bobby Altoff, whatever her name is, right? And the conversation, should old boy do interview with Maul and Academics? I really think Academics don't need Drake anymore. You done gobbled up old boy enough to get where you at. Now you don't need him no more. Maul, they probably need him, but Joe Budden definitely does not need Drake on this show. Academics does not need him also. And there's a few reasons why, in my opinion. Drake is, let's say it, man, Drake is toxic. He's messy and toxic. It is what it is. So you don't need that dark energy on your platform, on your show. Right or wrong, it is what it is.
Drake caught a lot of heat, backlash, and outrage from a lot of people saying, bro, what makes you think that we want to sit through another interview with you and Bobby? You keep going to these platforms to avoid having to answer questions about the beef and the battle with Kendrick. Even DJ Academics told him yesterday, Drake, after you put out this upcoming album, Iceman, you're going to eventually have to sit down and do an interview with an actual platform. A platform that's not going to glaze you, a platform that's going to hold your feet to the fire and ask you hard questions. Well, today on the Joe Budden podcast, episode 855, make sure you guys go check it out on Spotify or Apple Music. Joe was not a fan of Drake disrespecting Rob, so much so that he told Drake, you are never invited to my podcast. If you're going to continue to attack black media and diss black journalists, you are not welcome to the biggest podcast in hip-hop.
Next, the Reactors zeroed in on Rob Markman's response. Drake may have reached back years to throw shade, but Rob's measured clapback, I'd call you names too, but you'd sue, had the internet applauding his integrity.
But okay, so somebody pulled up an old Rob Markman clip of him interviewing Tory Lanez, where Tory Lanez was spitting a Lil Wayne verse, and I guess he stopped at the end of the final bar so Rob could say it with him. And Rob didn't. So Drake comments underneath, says, of course, this goof Markman can't finish the bar. Rob Markman responds underneath the comment, ooh, comment beef.
I love comment beef. I get him all the time.
Responds underneath the comment and says, what did Rob Markman say? He said, well, I would call you names too, but you would sue. And then that was the end of the exchange. Yeah. So the next day I go to get my manicure. It's a good comeback.
Someone's called him Supac.
On Sunday, a Lil Wayne fan page clipped the old 2019 interview I had with Tory Lanez. So Tory goes on to recite Lil Wayne's classic verse from Dedication 2 off the Canon record. And he did it like in a dramatic reading kind of style. It was mad funny. But basically he gets to the end of the verse and he throws the bar to me and I fumbled it. I missed the bar. Yes, I know the verse, but I fumbled, man. He threw the line to me. I dropped it. It was 6 years ago. I don't know what happened, but you got me. Red-handed, you got me. I missed the verse. I screwed up the line. Then Champagne Poppy leaves a comment on IG under the post. Of course, this goof Markman couldn't finish the bar. ... Free Tory. So I'm sitting there like, oh, we got jokes. A little bit of name calling, but we got jokes. I got jokes too. But I got to watch what I say because he might sue. Can't call no names. Just saying. So, but I dropped my response because it's all jokes, right? Then you know what happens after that. It becomes a story. So here's my thing. And anybody who watches me know I'm not really about disrespect. I may say I don't like a song. I may say I don't like a line. I may say, you won or you lost the battle. I may say I don't agree with a lawsuit, but it's never coming from a place of disrespect. I don't do personal attacks. I don't call anybody out their name. We all here just talking music. We talking hip hop. I just call it like I say it. I also keep it all about the music. So all that abs, braids, family court, all that stuff, like I stay away from it. If it's not like directly involved with the music, I tend to stay away. And I never lied to y'all one time. Y'all may not agree with my opinion, but when it comes to facts, I don't lie. Never lied to y'all. 21 years in this thing, never lied to the people not once. So here's my thing. I know the storyline is going to attract a new energy, new viewers, just a whole lot of new whatever, right? So what I'm doing. But for me, nothing changes.
I'm telling you guys, the internet is truly undefeated. It's pure comedic gold literally every day.
Tupac is funny.
That's funny.
Because he also has the Tupac Death Row chain that people were saying he just purchased, which he purchased
They say
in
it's
2020.
fake.
Yeah, Suge Knight actually confirmed it was fake. And he also pointed out that the original did not have any engraving in the back. And when you have a relic like that, when you have a hip-hop artifact, honestly any artifact, the last thing you want to do is customize it. You're not going to take a sarcophagus and write your name on it because the value would obviously plummet.
Remind you, this Rob Markman and Tory Lanez interview was something from 6 years ago. Why is Drake going back commenting on something from 6 years ago? I don't know.
That's crazy. So we're going to have to stop saying for Drake to be Drake. Drake is not a star anymore. The antics he does to stay in the limelight, a star does not have to do that. A star does not have to do that. I'm right or wrong. Drop a comment. He's no longer a star.
Yeah, I think Drake going a little bit overboard when it come to Rob Markman. Like, come on, man. Like, that dude don't bother nobody. He don't bother nobody. But to me, it just seemed like he just going a little bit overboard. And I think it's kind of trash. But let's keep it going.
Finally, everyone broke down why Drake lashed out, from claims that he's bitter about Kendrick winning the battle to avoiding tough interviews. Reactors agreed. Drake's thin skin is showing, and it's costing him credibility.
Why does Drake have such beef with Rob Markman? That's the thing I don't get.
I don't know.
Because for Drake to be Drake and take the time to actually go into the comments of a random post to come after
From some old ass content,
right? Yeah. It seemed weird to me.
Not to me. He seems to have beef with the way that everybody covered the Kendrick battle who didn't suck his dick.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
He has a problem if you went to the show and if he spoke to you. I think he just thinks that people sided with Kendrick and didn't give him a fair shot, and that manifests in these stupid beefs like this one.
Yeah, he's been on that since the battles, really. Maybe before the battles. Some of the criticism has been taking place. I read an article in the New Yorker actually the other day talking about the decline of music review in general, music criticism in general, how like in the Rolling Stone or whatever, they used to just fucking bash people. And now it doesn't really happen as much because, partially at least because of fan bases.
Not to me. He seems to have beef with the way that everybody covered the Kendrick battle who didn't suck his dick.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
He has a problem if you went to the show and if he spoke to you. I think he just thinks that people sided with Kendrick and didn't give him a fair shot, and that manifests in these stupid beefs like this one.
Yeah, he's been on that since the battles, really. Maybe before the battles. Some of the criticism has been taking place. I read an article in the New Yorker actually the other day talking about the decline of music review in general, music criticism in general, how like in the Rolling Stone or whatever, they used to just fucking bash people. And now it doesn't really happen as much because, partially at least because of fan bases being so rabid and annoying that it's like it's not even worth scathing somebody over. And to your point too, the person themselves can now just fire back.
Or I'm never gonna do anything with you guys.
Right.
Right. Punish you for it.
Maybe I just didn't like your album, bro.
Like we said at the beginning of the video, there's some history there. If per Rob, if he declined to show some love or push a narrative for them, now he's an enemy for life.
From some old ass content,
right? Yeah. It seemed weird to me.
Not to me. He seems to have beef with the way that everybody covered the Kendrick battle who didn't suck his dick.
Got it. Yeah. Okay,
Facts.
that makes sense.
He has a problem if you went to the show and if he spoke to you. I think he just thinks that people sided with Kendrick and didn't give him a fair shot, and that manifests in these stupid beefs like this one.
Yeah, he's been on that.
Yeah, Joe Budden says it wasn't spicy enough, right? But that doesn't really seem to be who Rob Markman is. And what would he really gain from going like academic style super rant onto Drake, right? He already got the publicity by Drake just simply mentioning his name. Drake is calling Rob a goofball, but by doing so, he's the one who looks like the goofball. Rob stands everything to gain and nothing to lose by not feeding into that same sort of petty level that Drake is on. But so Joe and his co-hosts kind of discuss, like, what is actually prompting Drake to jump out the gate making comments like this, right? Like, what has Rob Markman ever done to Drake to warrant being called a goofball on a random Instagram post? And the truth is, nothing. But Joe chalks it up to the fact that Drake right now has an issue with essentially anyone who didn't suck his D during the battle.
He ain't never lie about that. He ain't never lie about that. That's the truth. It's the truth. He has an issue with everybody who, when it comes to this whole Kendrick thing, he has an issue with everybody who didn't agree with him. He has an issue with that. So I definitely think that Joe's right about that. He's absolutely right. Absolutely.
Okay, that makes sense.
He has a problem if you went to the show and if he spoke to you. I think he just thinks that people sided with Kendrick and didn't give him a fair shot, and that manifests in these stupid beefs like this one.
Yeah, he's been on that since the battles, really. Maybe before the battles. Some of the criticism has been taking place. I read an article in the New Yorker actually the other day talking about the decline of music review in general, music criticism in general, how like in the Rolling Stone or whatever, they used to just fucking bash people. And now it doesn't really happen as much because, partially at least because of fan bases being so rabid and annoying that it's not even worth
That's a good point.
Scathing somebody over.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. Hip hop fans now are much more aggressive than they were before because the internet makes people aggressive. You have people who are online just to be aggressive. That's all they on there for, just to hate.
That's why I would love to see Drake, because I actually think Drake is a good interview.
Watch what they say about the reason why they don't think Drake do interviews with black media. They gonna say something alluding to how the questions gotta be it gotta be a controlled environment. Like he gotta be so well protected, bro. You can't kick back and just have man talk no more.
That now if he came out and said it is something different, but he never said that. However, Joe is right. He does have a dynamic where he makes it seem like he has a problem with black hip hop media. He makes it seem like that because he's not doing anything with black hip hop media. So I'm not gonna say you kind of forced to thinking that because you assume, but if you're not talking to none of the rappers, you're not doing nothing with any black hip hop media, then obviously that's what people are gonna think. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, who knows? Who knows?